Yellowstone roared onto our screens in the summer of 2018 and has so far provided us with 4 action and drama-packed seasons. The Dutton family, who pretty much own and run Montana, are willing to do whatever it takes to remain in control of their state. But whilst we wait for season 5, what else can we be watching? Today we're discussing the best shows to watch if you love Yellowstone. Stay tuned. First up, it's 1883. Of course, where better to start than the Dutton family's origin story? 1883 tells the story of James Dutton and his family and how they came to end up in Montana. The show largely revolves around his daughter Elsa and her search for adventure. Focusing on the family's trek north from Texas with a population of immigrants, 1883 gives an in-depth account of what life would have been like for travelers back in the late 1800s. Around every turn is danger, from natives who are not particularly happy at having to give up their land to marauders who are hell-bent on stripping the convoy of all their possessions. However, tragedy ensues when Elsa is shot by an arrow, and we come to understand that the Dutton Ranch is actually chosen by Elsa as her final resting place. Did you guys watch 1883? What did you think? Let us know down below. Next up, we have one of TV's GOATs. Stay tuned. The Sopranos has been lauded as one of the greatest shows of all time, and rightly so. It tells the story of Tony Soprano, crime boss and family man of the fictional Sopranos crew. He is head of the New Jersey mob and also attends therapy for mental health issues following a series of blackouts. The show has been praised by mob commentators and mafioso alike as the closest thing to the real-life mafia there is. So much so that actual New Jersey mafia members were caught on hidden voice recorders trying to figure out which characters in the show were based on the real-life Jersey mob members. Each season charts Tony's climb up the mafia ladder and explores the relationships he makes, and ultimately breaks from his tempestuous relationship with his uncle, Junior, to the string of women he keeps on the side. And similar to Yellowstone, central to the patriarch's motivations are his family and those he keeps closest around him. The Sopranos is excellent and deserves its praise as one of the best shows of all time. Are you a fan of the Mafia series? Let us know below. We're talking Boardwalk Empire now. Stick around. This one tells the story of Nucky Thompson, who is, in some ways, is a very similar character to that of John Dutton. He rules all as the treasurer of Atlantic County, and like Dutton, is one of the most powerful figures in the county. He is also utterly ruthless and will do whatever he must to remain in power. And similar to Yellowstone, the show revolves around the relationships in the upper echelons of society, as well as local and state level government. It is an interesting look at corrupt Prohibition-era officials and their interactions with mobsters, fellow politicians, government agents, and the little man. Nucky is continually being investigated over the course of the show's 5 seasons, and similar to Tony Soprano and John Dutton, will stop at nothing to get what he wants. Have you guys ever seen Boardwalk Empire? Succession is up next. Similar to Yellowstone in the way that it features a patriarchal figure, the head of the Roy family is arguably the much worse character than John Dutton. Logan Roy is the head of a news conglomerate and is one of the foulest characters in the whole of TV. He regularly tells his own sons and daughters to go away, but absolutely not using those words. Another similarity to Yellowstone is how it explores the lives and relationships of the children, Soiban, Roman, and Kendall, and occasionally Connor. They, like the Duttons, do not have a mother figure present and as such are almost as messed up as Beth. So far, we have been treated to 3 seasons of the excellent comedy drama, and it has also been confirmed that there will be a 4th, which is great. Will you guys be tuning into Succession? Let us know below. Next, we have The Son. Stick around. This one features a former James Bond in Pierce Brosnan, complete with beard and gun, and draws instant comparisons to Yellowstone. It follows Eli McCullough, the family patriarch and cattle baron who was kidnapped by the Comanche as a youngster, and similar to Yellowstone, the show explores the often tumultuous relationship the character has with his son, as well as darker forces who threaten to ruin his empire. And given the ranching aspect, this one is possibly the closest show to Yellowstone from that point of view. So far, there have been 2 seasons of The Son, but for reasons unknown, it will end there, unfortunately. Will you guys be checking this one out? We're talking Deadwood next. Stay tuned. Deadwood was criminally canceled after just 3 seasons, but what a 3 seasons they were. If you're a fan of Yellowstone, you've probably already watched 1883, and if you think back to the town where the immigrants were staying before they hauled out to start their trip to Montana, Oregon, well, that's basically what Deadwood is. The show apparently is a pretty accurate description of the lawless, wild Wild West and follows the vulgar Al Swearingen, owner of the Gem Saloon, and one who will absolutely take no crap from anybody. The show explores the relationship between townsfolk and the chaos of life on the frontier, and is absolutely brutal in parts, which is just the way we like it. Give us your thoughts on Deadwood once you've checked it out. Next up we have Sons of Anarchy, another show on our list today which features a character who has big-time daddy issues. This one follows Jax Teller and his identity crisis after being brought up by his mother and his father's best friend, after his biological dad passed away when he was a youngster. If we look at it from a Yellowstone point of view, Jax is probably most like Casey Dutton, who also questions his plan in his father's world. However, unlike Casey, Jax doesn't completely reject the world he was born into. He embraces it and follows in his father's footsteps by becoming the head of the Sons of Anarchy motorcycle club, Sam Crow. This one has 7 seasons of pure action and features solid writing and some truly excellent characters. And like Yellowstone, it even has its own spin-off called Mayans MC, which of course follows the Mayans motorcycle club, who pop up from time to time on Sons of Anarchy. Will you guys be tuning in for this one? Give us your thoughts below. Reservation Dogs is up next. Stick around. Similar to the first couple of seasons of Yellowstone in the way that it explores life on the indigenous reservation, although Yellowstone did move away from that angle in the last couple of seasons, this one follows a group of teenagers who are wrestling with the impact of one of their close friends, Daniel, passing away. They also spend their time committing and fighting crime, as well as toying with the idea of moving out of state to California to pursue a better life, just like their friend often spoke about. Before they cut ties though, they need to tie up a few loose ends in their native Oklahoma. So far, there's only 1 season of Reservation Dogs, but we know for a fact season 2 is in the works. Are you guys on this one? Let us know what you think below. We have Hell on Wheels, Stay With Us. This one was nominated for a ton of awards, and rightly so. It follows Cullen Bohannon, a former Confederate colonel, out to avenge the death of his family. The revenge plot is also tightly interwoven into the building of the Transcontinental Railway in the mid to late 1860s. Cullen supervises an all-black crew of railwaymen who are tasked with the job of preparing the land to have track laid over it. And of course, there are frequent interactions with the natives, as well as an underlying current of racism thanks to the time the show is set in. Of course, we can draw direct comparisons with the Yellowstone spin-off 1883, thanks to the time period and violence pretty much any character is ready and willing to commit. Have you guys seen Hell on Wheels? Let us know below. And finally, we have one that's not even out yet. Stay with us. We're ahead of the curve over here, you guys. There is, as you may or may not know, another Yellowstone spin-off in the works. 4 Sixes, or 6666, is set to drop later this year or early next year at the latest and follows the 4 Sixes Ranch, one of the biggest in Texas. You might remember the ranch being introduced in season 4 of Yellowstone, the place where Jimmy is banished to after disappointing John one too many times. Will you be checking this one out when it drops? As always, thanks for stopping by today, and remember to join us again next time for some more fun bits and pieces. Also, why not do us a favor by liking and sharing today's video, as well as subscribing to our channel so you don't miss out on any more great content. Bye, guys.